Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. Next year all our troubles will be miles away.
Hi and welcome to Vlogmas Day 9. It is Sunday, December 9th. I am sitting literally in front of the fireplace. I've got it going. I've got my fun little magnets on the fireplace. I always like this one. This one is, I don't want to brag, but I'm pretty mediocre at housekeeping. So I like to keep that one there. And then my lovely sister-in-law, they went camping a couple of summers ago and she bought this raccoon one. So it's a dumpster diving, raiding campsites. That's what that raccoon is wanted for. And in Toronto, we have big, big raccoons. The comfy red couch or white couch is actually right beside me. I'm tapping it. I'm just changing the location today. And today I thought instead of doing a regular podcast, I would do something that I was asked to talk about a couple of weeks ago by Joanne. And she asked me about my necklace, which is pretty much a permanent fixture on me, and I thought I would talk about that today. I thought that was an interesting question. And this is a jade necklace that I got in New Zealand in 1996. And it was funny because I went there with my cousin and we had very different feelings about traveling and about souvenirs. And I was about having keepsakes and she was definitely about having the experiences. And we did go and look at the fjord and we had a really great time. We were able to get a 2-week package where you had bus, a flight, and I think two train rides. And we got to go all around and I created the itinerary before we left. We went in January of '96 and my cousin, she went bungee jumping and all the adventure things. And I wanted things that I could take with me and instead of the experiences, things that tangible. So one of my tangibles was my necklace and I do wear it pretty much most of the time. There were, I think, a couple of years that I didn't wear it a while back, but you know, because sometimes I'll take it off and then you put it in the jewelry drawer and then you feel like wearing it, you pull it out. Anyway, it was interesting about this necklace, and it is a traditional fish hook. And there were two types of the jade. There was the figure 8, like an eternity, and I really, really went in wanting one of those. So when I first saw them, I thought, oh, that would be a nice one. And somebody, while I was there, said to me, no, 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 you don't choose it, it chooses you. But I was set, I was going to find the eternity that I really, really wanted. And I think I was in Christchurch and I was looking through one of the markets and looking at all the eternities, but it was the fish hook. And it was really funny because before that I thought, I don't like the fish hooks. I don't want a fish hook. And this one, yes, I would say it chose me because, as I said, I went in thinking I wanted something completely different and I came out with this one. And somebody said to me a couple of years ago that it warms to the touch. You know that you belong together when it warms to the touch. And I can't describe that whole, you know, it chooses you, but maybe you might understand that with, you know, yarns, you know, sometimes they choose you. Tasha has come for a little walk. Hello. You say hello? Yes. She's come over to sit by the fire. She likes to sit right by the fire. So a couple of the other things that I got in New Zealand that I wanted to share with you because, as I said, I wanted keepsakes. Claws. There we go. I wanted also a wool blanket, and I wanted something that was the nice sort of muted colors. So I ended up getting this gorgeous wool blanket, and I keep this in my 3rd floor knitting room on my chair, and it's warm and it really brings back a lot of happy memories. So that was my other keepsake. So my necklace, my blanket, and then I had one more thing that I wanted to do or have when I went to New Zealand, and that was I wanted to buy some yarn. And this was back in the 90s when I wasn't a really fantastic knitter, but I had lofty goals, and I used to sort of be a little bit more confident about sweaters. So I bought this pattern. Of course I did. And I bought, this is the rest of the yarn that I have left over. This is all I had left over from that project. I bought this gorgeous green, it's like a sage green wool, and I bought it in a store in Christchurch. I found this pattern, I just loved it, and this pattern is nice because there's also, there it is there, the vest as well. So I think one day I might like to make the vest. I think that would be a fun thing to do. But do you remember when patterns were made of paper and it was, low battery there, only $2.95 New Zealand, and New Zealand Canadian money, they're pretty close to par. I think New Zealand's money was a little bit less and Australia's was a little bit more. But so I made this, and I was playing a bit of yarn chicken when I got to the button band, and I skimped a little bit, and the button band never was really all that great. And this is one of those projects that I should have pulled out, but my expertise at the time was not, and my confidence was, both were low. And even though I had this much yarn, I probably could have done it and done a better job, I did not. But yeah, that's the one thing about travel projects, definitely get that extra skein. So that, along with my blanket and my necklace, were all my tangible souvenirs from New Zealand from 1996, so 22 years ago. And yes, they all are, I thought New Zealand was a beautiful place. I would love to go back again. A lot of people would maybe be surprised by my favorite part of New Zealand. One was, I really liked Rotorua, even though it was sulfury smelly. I just really liked that space and felt very comfortable there. And I really liked Wellington as well. And when we were in Wellington, we got to see a production of As You Like It, which is my favorite Shakespearean play. So it was a good time, a definite memorable 2-week holiday in New Zealand. Okay, so it is time for spoiler, and this is from the Stitchery, and I haven't shown some of the, they've come in, I just haven't really shown them as my spoilers, so I guess I should really go into full-on spoiler alert if you don't have your stitch kit. But I imagine that if you have this, you probably have it already, because Canada Post is doing the catch-up right now, and as I said, my mailman delivered this morning. This morning I said to him, you know, I'm sorry, I forget your name. He said, James Brown. I said, no. He said, yeah, it's James Brown. So that's my mailman's name, the one that I absolutely love. He had to work on a Sunday today, so overtime for him. But yes, James Brown delivered my mail in a rental truck, which was very, very interesting. Light of the Sky, and a fun floral piece of material. And what will I be stitching one of these days when I get to it? That's the hard part, when I get to it. There we go. And all of the lovely things. Oh, I think this is actually maybe November. It is a tree. And then there is the instructions on the back. Beautiful golden color flosses. And here is the piece of linen that I am to stitch it on. It's hard to see. And then there's the little good bag with some interesting bits and bobs. And let's see what this, I would imagine this probably is November, and December will come a little bit later. So there is a beautiful little floral fabric. There is a bit of cotton ribbon and another piece of linen, and then at the very bottom, crinkly goodness. There are 2 buttons, and they're a little bit, one is more of an hard to see ivory color, and one's got a bit more of a yellowish tinge to it. So, but both lovely little buttons. So I believe that's probably the November one, and I'm looking forward to seeing, because it's not very Christmassy, and I would imagine the Christmassy one would be very obviously Christmas. So I will get that, I'm sure, in the next little while. So definitely spoiler alert, but probably not so much of a spoiler alert. But so there we go. Anyway, I think that's all I've got to share on today's Vlogmas. So a little bit of New Zealand, some falling leaves, and I'm going to make myself some tea. Today's plans are to work on my Christmas Eve cast on test knit. I was really hoping to work on it yesterday, and I started to, and then I made a mistake in the car. There are days that you shouldn't knit, and yesterday was one of those days that the knitting did not go my way. I was able, once I got home from our event yesterday, to get the video uploaded. I had a lot of difficulty with that too. Just yesterday was a bad trying to get things done for me day. And so when I got home, I did get 1 repeat done of the pattern, and I've got 2 more repeats, and then I will hopefully be on the home stretch part of the rest of the sock, so without giving too much away. I am expecting that probably the Christmas Eve cast on will be released at some point this week or later in the week, whatever Danny's timeline is on that. I think you are absolutely going to love the pattern. Anyway, I am going to sign off for today. I'm going to have to figure out how to put this back in the envelope without too much crinkling. And as I said, tea, knitting, I'm looking forward to a nice, quiet Sunday. Have a great day, great evening, and I'll see you tomorrow, which is my day off.
Through the years we all will be together, if the fates allow. Hang a shining star